Hello, everyone. This is Talal Azim here at the Toronto International Film Festival with the one and only, the director and producer of Lost Ladies, Miss Kiran Rao. How are you, Miss Rao?
Hi, Talal. I'm good. I'm really good.
Hey,
Good to be here at TIFF.
that is great to hear. How's the festival been so far for you?
It's been amazing. I mean, honestly, I haven't been back here since my first film in 2010, and it's such a fun atmosphere. The city kind of just comes to life, and there's all these beautiful venues, but also great audiences that are there at all venues. And for a filmmaker, you couldn't ask for a better place, both to interact with a really cinephile audience, but also to meet filmmakers from around the world. So it's been wonderful.
As you mentioned, 10 years almost. Miss Rao, too long now. Come on, like we miss you in this side of the world. We would love to see you here more and more often. So, you know what? Let's dive right into this. Lost Ladies. This story. It is such one of those South Asian beautiful stories in terms of only in South Asia could something like this happen. That's how I see it. When I was watching it, I'm like, only in South Asia. So, when did you originally first hear about the story and what attracted you to it?
I originally heard the story when Aamir actually told me a sort of outline of the film when he'd read the script. He was on the jury for a screenwriting competition called Sinistan, which was in 2018. And this story really spoke to him. He loved it. He came home and he was like, you have to hear this story that I read. And he just told me the one line, which is the opening of the film, which is where the two brides get swapped. And it just was such a great starting point for a journey film, a film where all these adventures can be plotted in. So when he told it to me, I said it sounds great. I'd love to read it. And then Biplab Goswami, who wrote the script, sent us the script, and that's the first time I actually read it. That's how I got involved with it, because when he told me the story, he asked if I wanted to direct it, and I was like, I'd love to. We started there. Then other people joined the journey. We had Sneha Desai come in and write the screenplay. We had Divyanidhi Sharma come in and do additional dialogues and screenplay. So, and then of course, all this was all COVID and lots of stuff in between.
Lots of challenges in between, and years after, here we are. And so we know you as a superstar producer behind, so many great projects such as Dangal, Secret Superstar. Now, it's been a while since you've directed a film, and I'm sure as a producer, there are so many different scripts that come your way, and some that you produce yourself as well. So, what was the light bulb scene that you had in that just popped off that this is the one that I have to do as my next directorial effort?
I think I'm drawn to journey films, like the voyage return genre of storytelling. I'm very drawn to it because anyone who knows me will tell you that I'm one of those people who can't stay still. I'm constantly taking off for, random journeys myself personally. And just in terms of sort of narrative styles, it's a great way to actually explore lots of different scenarios and characters through a journey, because journeys, and especially when you do get lost, are ripe with potential for discovery. You will find new people, you will find unexpected situations, and you'll have to find new ways to get out of them. And in the process, you find yourself, or you find lots of learnings that you'll take with you in the rest of your journey. So as a genre, it's one of my favorites. And so it spoke to me because of that, I think. And of course, comedy is something that I'm very fond of comedy. I love watching comedy as well. I've always wanted to direct a comedy. And when we set out to make this, the idea was to do that, to make this journey a really fun and entertaining journey.
Right. And it's interesting because as I was watching the movie, which I thoroughly enjoyed, I thought it was just a very nice-hearted movie that does tackle a lot of very serious issues as well. And one thing I really enjoyed is that you didn't force those universal themes that, especially in South Asia, that a a lot of families in a lot of different regions go through, you almost treated the audience as we're all mature enough to know that these things happen. You know, there isn't some crazy thing happening where it's the end of the world. It's a real life depiction of so many people. And what I love about the movie, one of the themes is that we're all dreamers. I think it's like in our DNA that no matter what part of life you come from, what area you live in, end of the day, we all strive to be better. We all strive to reach our goals and whatever our dream even may be. And in a movie like this, I think that was very well depicted where someone who doesn't have the resources that maybe you and I do could be just some part of the world and they found a way to push through.
That's
and
right.
get it done. And sometimes you have to create those opportunities for yourself
Absolutely.
when the world isn't allowing you, that you're around. And that's what I love, is that although it's very universal, it ties very well in within the setting of South Asia and families that go through all that. So, dreamers, what was your first dream about the industry when you were breaking in first?
Ah, well, I was one of those film school grads who was like, in some ways, so arrogant to think that I could just make a film. I could just get out there. I was like, 2 years out of film school, I'm going to make a film. And, you kind of hit the ground really hard when you actually descend into the pit, so to speak. So my dream was to make films, and I didn't know anyone or anything about the industry. So it was I got inordinately lucky because I did a couple of years of advertising before I worked on my first feature. But the first film I worked on was Lagan, and you don't get luckier than that because that was film school in itself for me. You know, it was so rich in experience, and I made some of my closest friends as a result of working on Lagan. That it sort of determined my journey within the industry. I knew that, look, even within the so-called Bollywood Hindi film industry, there's people with a lot of integrity to tell, good stories, and it's not, the impression we have of, only masala mainstream movie kind of people is not the case. I mean, it's a really diverse, rich industry, and I'm very, very proud of it and very fortunate to be part of it. And I hope I've had a little bit of a part in, growing it in some way. So it's been a great journey. I had lots of dreams. Some came true, some didn't. But life is hopefully long, and this film Lapata Ladies will hopefully tell you that dream on. Follow your dream.
Right.
That was one of the takeaways we hope we convey.
And you just nailed it there. It's sometimes the dreams that we have that come true are amazing, and sometimes the ones that don't come true, they're blessings in disguise as well. There's sometimes the best things that never happen. And I think in this movie, in Lapata Ladies, it's so intertwined well within the main leads, Deepak, Pushpa, Pool. How important was it for you to make sure you get the right casting for these three characters, because they take us on a journey through the entire movie?
Yeah, it was everything. I mean, casting was everything for this film. You needed them to be genuine and believable, and be fresh enough to not have any baggage from any other film, and still be able to sort of be so fresh that you had no expectations of them, and whatever expectations you had, they subvert and they surprise you. So that was the genius of my casting director called Romil. He really went through the net far and wide, cast it out there, brought in people from across the country to test for the film, and I think we, as a result, found the right face, the right kind of quality that each character brings to the film through the cast.
Now, kind of circling back to some of the themes that we were speaking about earlier, I think another very important matter that you tackle in this film is that of violence, and more specifically violence against females, sadly. And as I mentioned, you treat the audience as like mature audiences. It's not like something that's taboo. Oh, this is what's happening. Like, the audience knows that this is stuff that happens. So just for you personally, like, how important was this for you to have as part of a central theme in the movie as well?
Yeah, all of the sort of ideas and the conversations we wanted to open up, we wanted to do it through plot and through character, and in a way that was entertaining and fun, without it being something that was on the nose, or a lecture that we wanted to sort of, you know, give people some sort of open message. It isn't that. And like you said, the people go through these things. We are all sort of mature modern day people. We know life is complex, that relationships are complicated, and marriages are complicated. And I think we all had a common goal of sort of putting in all the ideas that we wanted to refer to talk about, but in a way that you experience through a character, experience through plot, experience through the subtle change in a character's perspective. That was the goal. And I mean, because you said your question, it feels like that's what we did because of your question. I hope that that's what we managed to achieve.
Absolutely. And just as a viewer of the film, I just want to congratulate you on such a great film that you guys all created, the entire team. I had such a great time watching it. It was such a breath of fresh air.
Thank you.
In a world
you.
where blockbusters are taking over, a small film like this that shows that no matter what part of the world you live in, we all have stories. We're all dreamers. And I want to thank you so much for giving me the time today to speak to you about this movie. And
thank you, Talal.
I wish you guys all the best with everything.
Thank you. It's been great fun.